Look at those changes in expression. Really, you all are slaves to money. Anyway, Il-Yong is indeed the lucky charm of our party. It feels strange being the only sober one among these drunks. But how did you know about the item inside? No, how did you find the rat hole in the first place? Would you believe me if I said the single-edged sword told me? Now I have 2 sword sheaths. It's only right to return one to the blacksmith as a token of appreciation. And I should inquire about the identity of this sword. It's definitely not ordinary. You're back again. Master, have you been well? I don't recall having a son-in-law like you. By the way, you don't need to keep hitting that, do you? What's the use of hitting hard? It's obvious that it's only effective on our own countrymen. Ha! You're beating your own countrymen. Don't you know the Sylvia Empire is in a civil war right now? The prince and princess are fighting over the empty throne. If the former emperor saw this, he'd turn in his grave. Oh, so that's the situation. As long as I can make money here, I don't care. How clueless can you be? Even a local adventurer would know that. Seems like there's been some misunderstanding. After all, you did grab that expensive rare weapon. Anyone would mistake you for a seasoned adventurer from Ildel. But I've been curious since earlier, where did you get that sheath? I picked it up in the Ratman dungeon. It was bound tightly. I found it because the short sword kept crying. What? The sword cried? Why the surprise? Do you know something about this sword? Maybe I should have charged more. I didn't know it had that kind of power. Ah, it was you. Blacksmith sir, this. Just call me Fidos. Cough, I'm still young enough to be called sir. Yes, Mr. Fidos. It served me well. I told you not to call me sir. But if it served you well, that's good. Did you come all the way here just to hand this over? Surprisingly sharp for someone of your appearance. I have a question about the previous owner of this short sword. The person who sold that sword was quite unusual. How so? He had rare black hair like yours. His eyes shone dark like obsidian, and there was a mysterious aura about his face. Any other characteristics? He wore unfamiliar clothes and had a strange hat on. A hat? Could it be? It was a wide-brimmed hat woven from some kind of leaf. That's a juklip. The short sword owner is definitely a martial artist. There seems to be another martial artist trapped in Pangaea besides me. Those Pangaea gods are quite the nuisance everywhere. The Mother of Heroes says not to judge the entire pantheon by looking at just a few. Cough, well, some Pangaea gods are quite the nuisance. Never mind. So, the man sold the sword and left. What are you talking about? The person who sold the sword was a woman. She had flowing jet black hair and her fair skin was captivating. An exotic beauty. A female swordsman. That's unexpected. Strictly speaking, I didn't sell it, I left it in someone's care. You left it? What was it? Ah, right. The sword was murmuring, seeking a new owner. After seeing my blacksmithing skills, she left the sword with me. The sword was seeking a new owner. Wait. So, you tried to sell me a sword someone else had entrusted to you? Ahem, they never came back for it, even after many years. What am I supposed to do with it? Is this a weapon storage? This place is to make and sell swords. Perhaps Fidos thought she completely abandoned the sword. Or maybe he thought she'd never come back. Leaving a sword to collect dust for years would be regretful for the sword too. It's quite strange. A martial artist from another dimension left their sword in a forge. And the sword came to me, another martial artist, it might be fate. In that alternate country called China, did they send an adventurer? They will send a B-class adventurer named Zhao Fei for the grand duel. In China, they use adventurers who received the knight title to reduce political burdens. They also requested your active cooperation. I need to impress the first prince, so I'll cooperate, but, don't they have an A-class adventurer? I'm a bit worried about a B-class. My lord, this should be sufficient. The best knight in Ildil is just Persia, and the adventurers are around D to C class. Alright. I'll persuade the prince and get permission for the territorial battle. Let's win the prince's trust and break the pride of Oriana, who is so prideful about her lineage. My lord. Persia, what happened? Why are you in such a hurry? It's about the territorial battle. The neighboring prior territory has challenged us to a grand duel over territory. What are you talking about right now? A territorial battle. We just received an imperial decree. The fair Jaimishan announced he'll favor the victor and permitted a territorial battle between Ildil and Prior. What's the reason for the battle? It's because we allegedly didn't help our neighboring territory during the last monster invasion. That's nonsense. As you know, the current central government of the empire is completely corrupt. And Prior belongs to the faction of the first prince. The first prince must have bribed them. The princes, even when the forces of Ma Xin invaded, they were too busy fighting amongst themselves. And the regent and the central government, blinded by corruption, ignored the hunger of their people. No wonder some lords are joining forces with Earth, we must prepare regardless. My lord, Prior recently granted knighthood to a B-class adventurer from China. I suspect they're challenging us to this territorial battle based on that. China? Isn't that where we imposed a tax? Could it be that even Earth nations are involved in this territorial battle? Impossible. Unfortunately, in our territory, we don't have a knight who can face a B-class adventurer. Maybe we should ask for help from the princess now. Hold on. We do have a knight who can face him. Really? In our territory? Yes, a knight with the honor to never turn his back on someone in need. If we have such a knight, could it be? As an adventurer, Kim Il-yong received the title before the territorial battle, making him eligible for the grand duel. Since he's the one who defeated the commander sorcerer and faced dozens of orcs, maybe he can even beat a B-class adventurer. Ha. Ha. Nothing beats practicing right after waking up from sleep. Next is the octagonal fist. Octagonal fist level 9, 99.3%. Almost at level 10. Heart technique level 9, 99.7%, silent 18 strikes level 9, 99.5%, 7-star step level 9, 99.5%. Behold my shining achievements. Charge. If I keep going like this. What? The prior territory has challenged Illidel? Who's fighting who now? It's a power struggle. Prior supports the first prince while our lord supports the youngest princess. A civil war reaching even this far. Should we start preparing for evacuation? At least they say they'll decide it with a grand duel, right? If our lord loses the grand duel, what becomes of her? If she loses, she'll be exiled penniless, and the territory will be taken over by Morgan, notorious for his tyranny and exploitation. It's touching to see the locals care so deeply for their lord. Oriana, it seems you've ruled well. There's more. Rumor has it that both the first prince and the youngest princess are rushing to Illidel to witness the grand duel. It's obvious. A kid's quarrel has turned into a full-blown adult showdown. Everyone knows the youngest princess adores our Lord Oriana. I'd wager the youngest princess is rushing here, fearing there may be foul play in the grand duel. The first prince probably wants to keep tabs on her movements and is coming to match her. Sigh, I hope our lord is alright. She shouldn't be in any trouble, I hope. Our Lord Oriana. Why would our lord come to such a place? Lord, Oriana. You're here. Adventurer Kim Il Yong. We need you. Yes. What do you need? Please be my grand duelist. The Lord has bowed her head. What on earth? Who is this man? A grand duelist?